Welcome to T Boys TV. We're back again with another Hat Show, obviously episode 256. And in this one, obviously, we will be discussing the second game of the season, the first away game of the season, and all the drama that's happened in that, despite us getting a win. And then, obviously, we will be getting into the League Cup game tomorrow, the first round. One major trophy, the only major trophy we have actually won, if you want to count it as a major trophy, which of course it is, many moons ago, I guess you could say, and the flag's doing what we've done for the last 2 years and decided to go down. So that's just great. But yeah, before we get into anything, Dad, how have you been?
Yeah, all good, mate. Week off this week, so gonna chill out, enjoy the weather, and then
Yeah, no, absolutely. But yeah, going into that game against Peterborough, so going into it, we both had slightly different views going into it. Obviously, you thought it might be like how it was when we last went there, which was a 1-1 draw. I said a 2-1 win, but based on how the first half went, it could have easily been a draw. I mean, from our end, it was quite disappointing. I would say it's quite similar to the first game of the season against Wimbledon in the sense of very sloppy, very slow to start off the opening two games in this league so far. And I mean, looking at the lineup, obviously we had Keeley, back three of Naismith, Anderson, Makoso's unchanged there. We had Ali as a wing back on the left, Walters on the right, Saville, Clark, and then obviously Baptiste. And then we had Wells and Yates up front. Now, Yates was a surprise. No one expected him to start. More so expected him to obviously come on and get some minutes. But good to see that he started, getting the minutes under his belt. But yeah, like I say, first half, it was quite disappointing. I mean, didn't have a shot on target, which obviously a lot of people were frustrated with. I mean, they had two chances. One of them was routine for Keeley. Well, to be fair, they probably both were, but especially the first one, because all he had to do was dive down to it. And the second one was like straight at him pretty much. So he just like sort of punched it away. But yeah, we just were struggling to get to grips, really. I felt we were quite, like I say, sloppy in possession, similar to the Wimbledon first half, really, in that sense. I mean, the biggest chance we had in the first half from memory was the Makoto shot that was blazed over the bar, nearly over the flipping stadium, to be fair, over the roof. But yeah, it was another, I guess, annoying slow start, wasn't it, Dad?
yeah, you know, because we've got the quality. We've definitely got the quality, so it's quite surprising that we're not exerting that enough. But you could put it down to first away game. Expected more. I think what it is we're actually, because we've played Premier League teams and Championship sides and things like that. That maybe we're expecting more. We're giving teams a little bit too much respect. Obviously, some teams you've got to give them respect, but yeah, I felt it was a bit like that in the first half. But they know they can be better. We have got to be better than technical players, as I've said. And yeah, so yeah, it was flat. It wasn't terrible. The performances, we know we can do better. It's not like we're getting beaten up by other teams or whatever. And that might happen, and we might have to. But I think I said before, I think it's better if teams come at us, because I think then we do play better. But they didn't. We just went at them. Obviously in the second half, and it was a different story. It was comfortable in the end, really. And they didn't really look like offering anything. And again, our defence is looking pretty resolute. Yeah, it's a niggly game as well. A lot of fouls, a lot of the ref was trying to let it flow. But we know you get that in these leagues, but sometimes some of the stuff is just. I've seen some decisions in other games where they've said like people were offside and they blatantly weren't, and yeah, things like that. So you just got to deal with that. But yeah, Saville, Walters was a bit. He reminds me a bit of like Kabore sometimes. His positioning and his defending ain't that great, but there is a player there, but I don't know, man. I think he needs a proper. It's hard to say running a team, but then you can't have it to affect your results and stuff, So, and he was getting a lot of jip from the crowd as well, and apparently, Bloomfield made that change at half time, and it definitely worked. Longwood come over onto his other side that he doesn't normally play on, and was actually defensively and attack comfortable on the ball. He was really good there, wasn't he? He was like chalk and cheese, let's be honest. So, that made a difference, and the fact that we just went out, we thought, well, let's just let's do that. We know we can be better, and even then we weren't like at our best, was we? And we still, the goal when we scored, we caused him problems from corners again, which is nice to see because we was quite tired of that. I know Doughty's got to do good delivery in that, but they were just so predictable and things like that. We mix out Clark from the left, Saville from the right. Do you know what I mean? Like proper dangerous ball, no hanging. Do you know what I mean? Like it just looked set pieces and stuff just look just more normal. I never felt like at times last season that we could score from a set piece or a corner. So yeah. Obviously, we go on to Anderson's goal. I mean, just before that, he done some. He had a bit of defending to do because the player was running onto him. He tried to kick it away, it hit him, and then he had to track back, and he did. And he was so composed, kind of like Al Naismith is, and twisted the geezer and put him on his arse, and then we went up, got that corner, and good header, determined. Do you know what I mean? But we said that he can score goals as well. And it's come in the second. He's our first away game of the season. Do you know what I mean? But his second goal for the club. I think it's only his second, isn't it? Great corner, great finish.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And again, he's been getting a lot of, for me, unnecessarily slander, really, in my opinion. Like I've said, I think as an option, we said it in the first game. Obviously, I said it again in my match reaction the other day. I think he's a great player to have as an option. The way he's playing, for me, like maybe it's a little bit different now because of this Makoso situation, which we will get into. But like for me, like if obviously Makoso is going to get a ban, but say he didn't, I think it'd be hard for McGuinness to get back in the team. I mean, a lot of people just throw in the price tag and say, yeah, he should be in based on that. But you've seen players at, the so-called bigger clubs, choosing it as an example in the Premier League. Seen all them ones they paid loads of money for, not even start. I mean, look at Liverpool last year with Nunes. They spent what? Touching bare money for him, and you know what I mean? So I don't necessarily agree with that. And if the player's performing well, which he is, you can't drop him. You cannot drop him. So, yeah, that's what I will say. But, yeah, going into the second half, whatever was said at half-time definitely worked. I mean, Clark sort of hinted on his his reaction to the game that, the players were sort of having, loud shouts at each other and things like that, which is needed. It is needed because it was so disappointing that first half. And for me, it weren't necessarily like a lot of people frustrated we weren't having a shot and things like that. It weren't really that for me. Like that is a little bit annoying, but it was more so just how sloppy we were. You look at the players we've got, especially in our midfield, and the midfield were key in this game, I feel, because midfield's key in loads of games, but technically this game as well, because you've got a player like Yates who we do expect to be firing at this level, but then he needs a service to be getting that. And the midfield, we were just so sloppy, on the ball in that first half. And just, I mean, even times we were trying to run forward, we were just losing the ball easily and things like that. And again, like you mentioned, apparently Walters, a few people I know that went to it told me he was getting a lot of heat. And again, I personally, like I said in my reaction the other day, I do think we need another right back, but I don't agree with the amount of slander he's getting. Do you know what I mean? There's clearly a good player there to be at Arsenal's, team and be on the bench in the Premier League a few times. There's clearly something there, but I just think we need to get someone who can he can learn off. Do you know what I mean? Someone who has a bit of experience in the EFL, because as much as Longwit was good when he come on in there, I think when we played the better teams as a wing back, it's not really going to work. And to be fair, in my opinion, as much as it did work in this game, it didn't really work in the first game. So for me, that's the reason I say that. Obviously, we need to prioritise the left side first because obviously Doughty's gone. He was, one of our key players. But yeah, that's what I will say on that. But yeah, the second half, much better. Great header from Anderson. And what I liked, and I said it to you as well, Dad, the corners, we weren't taking those short corners in this game, which is great to see because I don't really like that idea. I like it if you're winning the game, you're trying to see it out. But, Savile obviously took a lot of corners in pre-season. This one come off, and it was a great header from Anderson, to be fair, diving header. And yeah, from there on in, we just got a lift, I would say, and a lot of confidence. And the way we were knocking the ball about after, even before that anyway, like in the second half, Naismith had a shot, probably shouldn't have shot, but it's good build-up play. There was the moments, and then you look at the confidence it gave us. Wells did get a yellow card, but some people are annoyed with it. Me personally, I'm not really annoyed with it because I would say it basically put their keeper off for the second goal. Obviously, the ball weren't great, passed back to him, great, but Wells capitalised on it, used his experience. I said in this game he could use his experience, and I'd argue them 2 moments of play showed that. And then Clark, who couldn't miss, well, he could have, but he didn't. I just knew he weren't going to with how composed he was, and he just tapped it in. And from there on in, it was comfortable. And then we had another chance, Makoso, not a bad effort, good save. But yeah, we'll get onto the Makoso situation now. I might as well talk about that. So I didn't actually see it until today. And shout out to Ben, obviously, does comment on the at shows and things. He actually said, and I didn't even realise because obviously I'm watching the game and things. He said in the Discord chat we're in, do join it. It looked like Makoso punched their player in the face, but I didn't actually see him say that. And then obviously I've seen a replay of it today, like most of you would have if you didn't see it on Saturday. And I've like sent it to the Discord, and he's like, "Yeah, I told you." And I was like, "Oh, mate, I didn't realise. Sorry." But yeah, looking back at that, I mean, what is he doing? Like, I get players get frustrated when they're getting held onto and things like that, but there's no need to do that. I mean, Walsh has got heavy criticism for football challenges, which ain't great tackles, but compare that to a physical punch. He needs to be getting at least a 3-game ban. I can see it being more. And it is frustrating because, you look at it, you think, yes, he has been really good since he's come in for us. And he actually was all right the other day, like not his passing, but his shooting and things like that were actually decent. And then he lets himself down like that. Like, we can't be, soft on him. We've got to be telling him straight up that is not acceptable, because it's not. And lucky enough, we've still got, other centre backs. Like right now, it's not like, a couple of years ago where we had, a crisis at the back. But yeah, it's not great from him, and it is frustrating. And he has been charged by the EFL, but I think it's just yet to come out how long it will actually be. And lucky enough for us, if it is 3 games, the cup games do count. So the one tomorrow does count, which is quite fortunate for us, if that is the case. But we don't know, as we speak right now, we don't know how long it is. But what did you make of the incident, Dad? And did you see it on Saturday or did you see it today?
No, I saw their player go down, and I thought, it's just a clash. Maybe it's a clash of it, or he's gone into him. I didn't really see a punch or anything, but their player definitely went down and he was laying there for ages. We carried on playing, but none of their players were like up in arms about anything. And then all I saw was when he went off, he was proper shouting at the 4th official. Obviously, I was listening to the commentary as well, but they didn't pick up on it either. But obviously, you've seen the thing. I don't know. He definitely like throws his hands towards him, but I mean, we can't see close enough whether he actually catches him with a punch. For me, that's not. But if you're saying if he's been charged, has that been confirmed by the club, or is that just?
I'm seeing it around by the EFL. So
right. Well,
the club. I'll be honest. The club today have been a bit slow and stuff. I thought there'd be a Matt Bloomfield press conference because obviously they're playing tomorrow. There hasn't been even a match preview on the website. There ain't even been one.
part of it. But if it is the case, initially I said that that is a free game ban generally, but it could be less. It could only be one. They do look at shirt pulling. If it just walked up to him and punched him, he'd get more than a free game. Do you know what I mean? But
just quickly, I'll say there ain't been a match preview thing. It's just come out now. That's just great.
Yeah, well, so if it gets, it's a lesson learned, and at the end of the day, and that's it. I'm not going to be, because generally he has been a good player, and you lose your place in the team, innit? So potentially, but who can you move there? Would you play Anderson there? Put McGuinness in the middle? I don't know, man.
Yeah, like for the lineup today, chat, we're going to do it a bit different. We're going to go through it together and obviously get involved in the chat as well, because we'll do it based on, if we both say someone else in a position, then we'll base it on what you guys reckon as well.
Yeah, we'll just see what happens with it. If it's saying he's been charged, then that's it. Then he might only get a fine. I don't know. We haven't said what they're going to do, but obviously they've looked at it and they've judged it to be a violent conduct.
Yeah.
So, but they were, that's what you get in that league. They were diving around. They were like, but niggly, put your foot in on them. Their manager definitely tells him to do that. Mate, they think they're the big boys of this league, whatever. That sort of thing. Stick it on them. Clark was getting just fouled like left, right, and centre, and that's probably why Morris left, because if the matter gets fouled in the Championship in this league, he's just gonna, So you got to kind of get used to that and think, well, actually, no, and give it back a bit. When they were trying to hold on to the ball on the touchline, and Savile was like, just give me the ball, push, and they went rolling them down like a 5-year-old kid or whatever. It's the same player, I think. So whatever. End of the day, that the better quality does shine through, and it did come through in the end for us again with Wells, with that chasing down the keeper. In the last 5 minutes of game, 10 minutes, whatever, he done that, produced that cross, which caused the own goal. And this is a similar thing, when you've got that quality and willing to try. Everyone's like, he's 35 and that. He played the whole 90 minutes, didn't he? Pretty, you know what I mean? So little things like that will, in these leagues, will definitely get you that extra little bit of quality that you need. And once everyone is kind of gelling together, and there was some gelling together in that team for me, we're going to the player ratings and that, but generally, Baptiste I thought was brilliant. Just looks real quality. He is, though. Let's be honest. He's a top Championship player. Really, if he's not injured, you can see that quality on him. Savile's just, like Kevin Nichols, mate. He reminds me of. And then Clark, weren't as good, but he got it to run in for that. Anticipate that and run in there straight away. Brilliant. And he was getting kicked off the park. He was the smallest player on the pitch, I think. And then Ali, I don't know what is. He just seems like he's not really running at players as much as he did before. But that'll come. Like, I think if he thinks that he can definitely get past someone, then he'll just do it all night. Do you know what I mean? Or afternoon or whatever. But I think if someone's on him more, he's a bit more. He'd rather keep hold of the ball, if that makes sense. But he made some good passes. That pass that he done to Naismith, where Naismith should have laid it across, man, because we would have scored there anyway. But, and even Naismith looked a little bit ropey in the first half. But the second half, just completely different, let's be honest. And then Keeley, again, with pretty much nothing to do.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Maybe with Ali, it might be a situation where he's not running as much. I know we have seen it when he's played as a wing back, but maybe, Bloomfield's saying maybe be a bit more sort of limited to doing it. Maybe, who knows? Sometimes managers do say things like that, and it would make sense a little bit.
Well, yeah, because you lose the ball there, and then you got Walters on that side, or who's on that side?
So it'd be Naismith on Ali's side.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like,
he's not the fastest. As much as he's very good football IQ, he's not the fastest.
So there's probably a little bit of that, especially away. At home, I want to see him on the ball loads, bombing down that wing and things like that. But it's because you're away, and it makes more sense. So I watched some of the Millwall game as well. Doughty was playing left wing like proper, not like he was with us, but like he was in the Premier League, like back, and they were away, and he's still got an assist as well.
Yeah, great football.
Brilliant, great pass, yeah. So yeah, loads of ex players and stuff, got an assist or goal, or the 2 lone players.
Oh, it's weird, yeah.
So but yeah, I mean, I've seen some funny comments regarding other teams. Obviously we looked at Charlton. People, Nathan Jones was given, well, they, the Watford fans jip and that, but they've given it to him, so he's going to give it back. But what I knew they would win that game but I saw this thing by Danny Mills. Don't you know about him? He's a commentator, pay for, he was talking about Wrexham and that, and he was going, well, Wrexham they've got a better team together than Charlton. I'm thinking, what are you talking about? It's like they're going to struggle. Like, I don't know when he's supposed to have said this, but it come up. And I was thinking that is just absolute waffle. Like, if anyone's going to, well, let's see who finishes higher out of them 3 teams. I'm pretty sure I know it's going to be, because you know what I mean. They keep fighting. They have signed some proper good players, and fun. And I saw that Kaminsky. Yeah, I don't know, bit rash. You know what I mean? But they got away with it.
See, it's things like that we have to be honest and say Keeley's better at. Like, as much as he's come out so far, he's not proven to do that. I think he will probably. I'm not going to lie. I think he might do, maybe not with the hands, but
most
come out
and make 1 or 2 mistakes every season. Yeah, let's be honest. You know what I
mean? Yeah. Not to say I expect it at some point. It won't be like bad though. Do you know what I mean? And the thing is, like I say, and like I've said with him, he's much more commanding. Do you know what I mean? The back line feels a lot more comfortable with him there. Because I'll be honest, yes, Kaminsky had a change of the back line constantly, but, Keeley's more up for it for coming out. Do you know what I mean? And you've seen that. Maybe comes out a bit too much, like how far out he comes.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I did feel that in it was the Wimbledon game. That time we ran up and it was near the corner flag. I was like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
But no, it's good to see that he's, good with the ball at his feet and that, because, he's got a lot of potential. We know this. You could probably argue that he'll be in the, maybe not with us, maybe, but he could be in the Premier League in a good few years. I think he's that good. Obviously, Tottenham have a part of the deal with a sell-on fee, I believe it was. So there is that as well. So, yeah, look at that. Jackie in the comments, hi Ty Daz. First half was boring. Second half, they came out of the traps. I really enjoyed the second half. Long time since I've enjoyed the game in a long time. Yeah, I mean, based on the second half performance, I'd have to agree. Because even then, you look at the Wimbledon second half, and that still weren't great overall, whereas this was much better in the second half. And to be fair, even in pre-season, we've had a lot of games like that. Like, we've been poor in one half, but then good in the other. I mean, look at the Southend game. That's another example. Poor in the first half in that game. Second half, we were, well, not poor in the first half, but not as good as we can be. And obviously it's similar here. So yeah, I'd have to agree, and especially the fact this was a competitive game as well. Do you know what I mean? I definitely have to agree with that. And yeah, it does look like he did. I mean, a few people said push. I was like, wow, there's no way that's a push. But what was crazy to me on that as well is the fact the referee didn't even see it.
Yeah,
he was in the direction of it, wasn't he? I'm not really. People say, a little bit surprised with players. I mean, the goalkeeper, yes, because he's literally in front of it. The other players, not really, because if you look at it, they're all ball watching. But yeah, he shouldn't be doing that. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to be like critical. I'm not going to be like, oh, get him out. I don't want to see him play again or anything like that. But he needs to learn from that, because, like I say, you look at what Walsh did. There were football challenges, whereas this is far worse. Do you know what I mean? So he needs to be getting told that that's not on, and that is not acceptable, and we don't want to see that again. Yeah, it doesn't matter, and you are seeing that a lot in football, like especially a lot of games I've watched recently. Not necessarily a punch up, but you are seeing players proper
Yeah.
hold on to each other, fight on the ground.
What it is, I'm not being, but it's attitudes, mate. Everyone's like aggressive and things like that, especially young, you know what I mean, younger people and stuff. They are, and it's just you just get on with it. Like back in the day, people would take you out and you just get up. I mean, there was proper fights back in the day. Do you know what I mean? But there's just no need for it. Like then you'd get clattered. He wasn't. He's just getting his shirt pulled. You know what I mean? And it's just just it is what it is. Lesson learned. He's a good player. He's got a lot of potential. We'll see what happens with the the ban or whatever. If it's free, if it's one, that's perfect. I know a lot of people say get away with it technically because he won't play in tomorrow's game or whatever. But yeah, I don't expect him to. It'd be interesting to see. But let's get into the player ratings, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, exactly. And quickly before we do that, this comment here from Jackie, I totally agree. He's done it in a different sort of way. Well, obviously, he's not full on punch the guy, but do you know what I mean? That's a bit of that reminded me of Ways. I think that was actually against Bradford when Sonny Bradley got pushed and he done that thing. I swear that was actually against Bradford. Think about it. Obviously, we've got them coming up. That was sort of reminded me of that. Sort of like, shithousery, really, you could say. From Savile.
All it is he's frustrated. It's like they're taking the mick. Like I'm just, and they're still human beings as well. So you just give me the ball, especially someone with his experience and that. You know what I mean? So nothing wrong with that.
And it's like when Lansbury got booted. If you weren't at the game, you'll just see the video of him booting the guy, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, how is he not sent off?" Not knowing that Manning, who actually scored, I think, for Southampton the other day. Yeah, he booted the ball out of because back then we didn't. I don't think we had netting on the old stand, so that it would literally go up towards houses, or like we had one bit of netting, nowhere near as much as we do now. And the ball went out there, but no one will talk about that. They'll just talk about the boot and be like, "Oh my god, how's he not sent off, mate?" There's context to everything. Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, going into the player ratings now. So Keeley in goal. Again, another clean sheet. Can't complain. Didn't really have too much to do, like say, first half. I'd say, routine saves for a keeper of his quality. But yeah, the confidence is there, the clean sheets and things like that. So yeah, I guess I can't go too high, but he did get a clean sheet, so I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, I agree. I'll give him a 7. Just
do get involved.
You don't want to see him making saves, but then you do at the same time. Do you know what I mean? Because he obviously thrives off of that, and that's why he's trying to do the other stuff because he's not having much to do, but he will get that.
When we play the better teams, 100%. Yeah. I'd say even Saturday. I'd even argue Saturday. This will probably be the most we've seen him in action. Yeah. Not in the sense of us getting dominated, but they will have chance there, especially at home. They're they're a good team, Bradford. I rate them. I do. I think they got Newville as well. Obviously, we'll get into it nearer time, but yeah, they got some decent players. Jackie says 7.5. Moving on to Makoso. Again, other than the punch, he actually had good moments.
Well, I'm not going to judge him on that now because I didn't see that until after. Something happened, but I'm not going to sud it. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going to give him the rating I was going to originally give him because, it's just like if you found out that Anderson, had a shit in Savile's fucking trainers, you're going to go, well, I'm not going to give him an 8 now. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know it's a different do you know what I mean? So during the game.
Yeah, like I say, he had decent moments. He did. All right, that shot weren't great, but it was our only good chance in the first half. That one that he did when we were already 2-0 up, that was a good shot. That was his best shot so far for us. So, I think there was decent moments from him.
Yeah.
But obviously that did let him down. But anyway, I would give him a 6.5.
I'd give him a 7.
I did think in passes he was quite sloppy.
Yeah, I'd give him a 7. Clean sheet. Had a couple of opportunities. He's desperate to score, so he's just sort of snatching at some chances. We've seen that a little bit, but just crack on.
Yeah. 6.5 says Jackie. Moving on to Anderson. Again, another very good performance. Like I said earlier, you can't drop him from the team. in my opinion, in the league. Great header. Give the players confidence to go on. Obviously, you've got to give Saville a lot of credit for the cross as well. There's a great diving header. You saw the sort of, like I said in my reaction, you sort of saw the relief, that when Anderson scored, like, yes, come on. Because, I know he actually looks at quite a lot of the Luton, like, fan pages and stuff, because I've seen him like stuff. And, he would have seen the criticism he's got recently. So, on top of that, it's a bit of relief. And like I say, I like Anderson. I think as an option, especially at this level, he's good to have. Another memorable goal, like I said, obviously the first one being a Premier League. Now, obviously this one, first away game of the season, which hopefully come the end of the season, we look back at that goal, for example, for him. But yeah, for me, I will say I'll give him an 8.
Yeah, I'll give him an 8. Another good performance defensively. We've got a yellow card. Close to being man of the match as well. But, defensively as a unit was good. The goal obviously was great. But yeah, 8.
Yeah, Jackie's gone with an 8 as well. Lovely header. Moving on to Naismith. Again, I agree with you. I thought he was a bit of a slow starter in this game. I did like the link-up play early on in the second half when he had that shot. However, me personally, I think he should have squared it. There was quite a lot of players in the box, and they were, looking a bit frustrated, to be fair. But, it's good to see that he's making them forward runs as well, to be fair. So, yeah, I'll just give him a 7.
Yeah, same, 7.
Yeah, Jackie's gone with the same. Moving on to Walters. Again, I don't agree with as much criticism as he's got. However, like I say, I think maybe we do need to get another option there. But I don't mind having him, play games still this year and things like that, as much as some people might want to see him on the bench a lot more. For me, I'll just give him a 6.5.
Yeah, I'll just give him a 6.5.
Yeah.
Played a half, yeah, I don't know. It's hard. Like he needs like a run out again just to boost his confidence more. But some of these games is struggling in parts of the game, not all the game, in parts of the game. There's some good stuff that he does, but yeah, like I say, put someone else. Play him in maybe tomorrow. I'd start him tomorrow for the cup game, and in the trophy, just trying to get, and then bring him on. Do you know what I mean? And then I think he just needs a bit of that confidence because he's young as well, isn't it? So yeah, 6.5.
Yeah, and the thing is, he'll get opportunities in the cup, the Virtue one or whatever it's flipping guild. I can see him definitely get, because we'll go with a younger team in that. Obviously, you might see some second string players like Woodrow and things like that. Maybe in that, but it'd be a good opportunity for him to play in that as well, I feel. So it's not like he's gonna get no games. Obviously, depending on who we get in the FA Cup first round as well, he could play in that as well. So there is still them games, and yeah, obviously a priority is left back, wing back, whatever you want to call it. But I do feel we need something else there as well, like I did say the other day as well. Jackie says, I agree, starting tomorrow. Moving on to the next player, we'll go over to Ali. Again, like I said, maybe he was told to, not bomb forward as much, but he still did do it in patches. But sometimes, me personally, when he does make them runs, sometimes he cuts back, like play it back, and he's because I know he can take on the man, but sometimes he doesn't. That is the only frustrating thing. But like I say, it might go back to what I said. But yeah, for the game itself, like I say, weren't too bad. I give him 7.
Yeah, I'll give him 7. I think what I'll say is that teams have worked already clocked that. They know he's a danger man, so they're putting two, 3 players on him. Do you know what I mean, or around him, so he can't really do that. So you have to sort of not play like that. And I get it. And then when you catch him out, if he's on the run, they're on a counter attack him. He back him all day. But yeah. 7.
Yeah, Jackie's gone with the same 7 as well. Moving on to the midfield, we'll start off with Saville. He is my man of the match. I thought, if you compare this game to his first game, whatever he was told to do in that game didn't really work 'cause he was higher up. But this game he was covering, and I did say going into it, a lot of away games this year, he could be massive. Doing that covering, doing really well. Obviously, he did get did have that moment, but I'm not looking too much into that. Like you said, had the experience and things like that. Man of the match for me. Really, really good performance from him. And Anderson was a close man of the match again, but I'm going to give it to Saville. And I'm going to give him a 8.5. And Jackie's gone with an 8. Man of the match as well for him. And yeah, he just used his experience in this game. And he was doing what I expected him to do in the first game. But obviously, it looked like whatever he was told to do was not what I expected him to do. So, yeah, much better in this game. And, like I say, he could be massive in away games going forward for the season. And for me, definitely a player I would not be playing tomorrow because there's no need to play him. Do you know what I mean? I look at it, and again, we'll get into the lineups. There's a lot of players you do not need to play tomorrow. Bloomfield's already said he is going to rotate anyway. And I've just seen on here, and we'll get into it when we get to the Coventry game. But there's 3 players that sound like they are going to be starting. So yeah, again, we'll get into that, given by what Bloomfield said. But yeah, you're rating for Saville, Dad?
Yeah, he's my man of the match as well. I thought, he was winning them tackles, going for it when with other players. But that's his job, and he was doing it though. He's executing it perfectly. Got the assist. Looks dangerous on free kicks. Was being a voice, and was probably a big part of that halftime chat, and I would have said. So yeah, man of the match. And we knew he'd be getting some anyway. Because he's that type of player. But yeah, first one. I'll give him a 8.5.
Yeah, same as me. Moving on to Baptiste. I thought he was really good again. Again, we were calling for him to start in the first game of the season. And some of the passes he was doing, especially in that second... actually, I think it was the first half. He was just spraying them out, wasn't he? Like, he was probably the only positive, really, of the first half, to be being honest.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
But yeah, really good. And like I said in the last episode, I generally believe he is a Premier League player. But it's just his injuries which lets him down. Either way, he's way too good for this league. And I think if we can keep him fit, he's definitely going to keep showing why. Hopefully he can chip in with a few goals and assists as well. But yeah, as for his rating for this game, like I said, I was really, really impressed with him. I'll give him a 7.5.
Yeah, I'll give him 7.5 as well. That said. And here's another one I'd be tempted to be starting tomorrow to keep him, getting out, at least a half. Because, you can't make too many changes for me, because otherwise, Coventry ain't world beaters or anything. Do you know what I mean? But if we're looking to get back in the Championship, then we've got players that could, we'd be happy with this, potentially these players, maybe a couple more if he was in the Championship. Let's not mess around, do you know what I mean? But yeah, he's looking better and better each game, and he looked good in pre-season as well. But you could see the quality that he's got. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Like I say, if we can keep him fit, there's a player there for sure. Moving on to next player, we'll go over to Clark. Again, I would say I've seen better games from Clark, but then he scored. And he was composed, and obviously massive credit to Wells on that goal. But, he could have easily slipped and messed it up, but he didn't. And yeah, like I say, I've seen better games from him, but he got a goal still. So, you know what? Clark, I'll give him a 7.
I'll give him a 7.5. Right, yeah, goal was good anticipation. Burst into one in that box. Scored a couple already this season and that. Well, pre-season, wasn't it? Sorry, but he will score quite a few this season because he's being played more in that forward role. But I'd probably rest him for the next game. But yeah, he was getting hacked all over because he was obviously recognised as a danger player as well. Clearly, because they definitely targeted him. But come through it, got the goal. One of the senior members of the squad as well. So yeah, I'll give him 7.5.
Yeah. Jackie's ratings: Baptiste 8, Clark 7.5. Yeah, no, I agree. Moving on to, um, we'll go over to Wells before we go over to Yates. I mean, obviously done well on the second goal, and yeah, he was just using his experience, yet again, and yeah, he's going to be massive for us, obviously this season with that experience and things like that. So I'll give him a 7.5.
Yeah, same. Worked hard. You would think, like, he's 35. You'd be resting him. Can't be playing him. You know what I mean? All the time, hard working, using experience. Very, we can see why we signed him. Obviously makes complete sense. And effect two goal contributions or whatever you want to call it in 2 games. It's only a matter of time before he scores himself. 7.5.
Yeah. And then moving on to Yates, obviously getting minutes on the way. There was a few good moments from him, but obviously he's still getting into the minutes. So I'll just give him a 6.5.
Yeah, I'll give him 6.5. Yeah.
Jackie's gone Wells quality 8. And then moving on to the players that come on. Obviously Longwick come on at half time. Again, did do well there. I just think going forward, he'll be better as a centre back, especially when we played a better opposition. But yeah, he was good in that game. Obviously he was effective. So I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, he was definitely just calm. I don't know. He done the job better, didn't he? And defending, and that was not even his favoured side either. And he had to wait a long time to come on because they took ages to come out in the second half, and he was just like there for it, So that can affect you, but he done well. 7.
Yeah, Jackie's gone with the same. Yates 6.5. Moving on to Walsh. A fair play to Walsh because Bloomfield come out and said he was, taking the team training and stuff. So fair play to him there. I think it is was the right decision, shall I say, to have him on the bench for this game. And I think that was proven to be right. But yeah, as for him, I'll just give him a 6.5.
Yeah, we know the quality, and sometimes he'll run games. But away, I think I can, he's more of a forward player. Do you know what I mean? Things like that. So, and he's quite small as well. So you need like the big guys in midfield, especially away, at home and that. And yeah, it depends on who you're playing as well, the size of their midfield, etc., etc. But yeah, 6.5. Lamine as well. Yeah.
Yeah, Lamine tried to be effective, like he was in the Wimbledon game. Well, at least like tried to be. Obviously had that shot in the Wimbledon game. But yeah, 7 as well. Jackie's gone with a 7 for Walsh. And then McGuinness and Nelson, I'll just give them a 6 because, they come on with a few minutes. McGuinness 3 minutes left. Nelson come on in literally the dying stages of the game. So it's hard to judge him. But, they're players that sound like they're going to get minutes tomorrow. So yeah, going into that game. But before we do that, I'm going to read out the scores for everyone that is involved in the score predictor thing. So no one got it bang on yet again. Few people close. But yeah, I'm just going to say all the names and the points. So I'm on 2 points. Obviously, you're on 1, Dad. Jackie, you're on 2. Rich, you're on 2. Paul is on 2. Stephen's on 2. Tom's on 1. Phil's on 1. Andy's on 2. Darth Vader's joined it. So shout out to him. He's on 1. Chat GPT is on 2. Me and Chat GPT, right, both said the same scores so far, 2 1s for the both games. And then
Actually, let me do tomorrow's game.
Jamie did do it, and I think it said 2-1 Coventry. So you do it now and see what it says. But yeah, Jamie's on 2 as well. So yeah, no one got any, spot on, just the outcomes. But as the season goes on, it is going to be very, very interesting. Like I said, for the prize, we will be giving whoever the winner is a Luton shirt. By the way, people did ask me, what if it's Chat GPT? We'll do whoever's closest. So yeah, that's how we'll do it. We won't be on the same points come the end of the season. No way. Someone's going to get it spot on, and it might be a few points ahead or, more. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, it won't stay the same. No way, especially if all the turnarounds. And by the way, we're going to do it we're doing it for tomorrow. We can do it for the FA Cup as well. We're not, me personally, how do you feel, Dad? Because I said about it in the Discord the other day. Did you want to do it for the trophy? or do you not want to do it until we get to, if we get to the final or something?
No, the cup games, that's fine. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah,
no.
I was thinking that because we don't really know what we're going to play. Yes, we're going to play younger teams, second string team, and things.
You don't even know the opposition players are or anything. It's really.
Yeah, the Brighton under 21. Yeah, exactly. Like, do you know what I mean? So yeah, I probably won't bother in that. Maybe if we get to the final, we'll do it because like it's Wembley. Do you know what I mean? But other than that, I was saying I don't really think.
Chat GTP for me, he's saying 1-1 draw. So,
see, the thing is, where does it go, guys? Let me know in the chat. Does it go extra time or pens? Straight pens.
Go straight to penalties, doesn't it?
It should do.
So yeah.
Should we just go with what Jamie said because it said a win? Like if this was league, then yeah, it makes sense.
Well, did she put cup gaming? Because that's what I put. I put the exact game.
I don't know. She's trying to show me now. 1 second. Extra time and pens. No, I'm not too sure, mate. Yeah, no, she did. She put. Yeah, that's why because she asked me what is it in the EFL Cup.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's got about 100 names in it.
Well, it depends on it. I done it latest, but they're saying it looks like a.
I'll tell you what. We'll just go with Jamie's because it said a winner. Do you know what I mean? If it was league, then yeah, we'd have win. Yeah. All right. But yeah, let's go through some more comments. Yeah, 6. Big up to Rich inside. He is in the Discord. Big up to Rich, mate. Hope you're well. Yeah, he done one on the Discord, right? Against Bradford. And didn't it say Doughty have scored a winner? It was a bit messy.
That's what I mean. You've got to make sure, because I've asked it something similar before, and it was going Nathan Jones's team. I was like, what, Nathan Jones? You know what I mean? So
then it's weird because I think Jamie or someone in this, I can't remember, asked it who is who's at Luton right now, ingoings, outgoings, and it actually got everyone that's there. So it's weird. Like, how's it not know?
How you word it? You've got to word it properly. Make sure it's the right game and that.
Yeah. It's time pens. Phil in the chat. Good to see you in, mate. He's saying penalties apparently, straight to penalties. I prefer that. You know what? I was saying the other day on their channel that I reckon they, instead of doing extra time, obviously I know they do straight pens now and things predominantly in certain competitions. They should bring back golden goal because teams will actually go for it. They will actually go for it, and I think back in the day it was sick. Even I know it's only FIFA, but even when you play it with your mates on FIFA, you're like proper eager to get that goal, and that's how the players would feel in real life and the managers. I think you got it because extra time, man. Sometimes I just look at it and I think it's just another half-hour football, just teams just trying to see it out to go penalties.
Yeah,
it's just pointless.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, round 1 to 5 straight to pens. Yeah, I knew it was straight to pens at some point. I just didn't know what rounds. But yeah, cheers for that, man. Cheers for that. But yeah, moving on to the Coventry game. So Bloomfield sort of hinted that there will be 3 players that basically will be in the starting 11 by the sounds of it. Because it says here, in his post-match press interviews at the weekend, a manager, Matt Bloomfield, indicated that Mark McGuinness, Zach Nelson and Lamine Fanny would be amongst the changes he's in line to against, obviously, Coventry. So, yeah, that's quite interesting to hear. Quick thoughts on what he said going into it. There wasn't a press conference thing that come out that I've seen. He says it's going to be a real tough game. Coventry away is not an easy tie or draw at all. So we're going to need energy. We're going to need intensity on the pitch. League Cup's got a rich history at our club. We know that, so we want to go there and show ourselves in the best light. There will be changes because in pre-season we managed to get the majority of the group up to a good level in terms of match sharpness and match fitness. And there have been a few of the guys you could say have been really harshly done not to play more minutes in the first League 2 games. Or 2 league games, but they'll be given the opportunity to stake their claim for a spot. We want to go and win the game. It's basically what he said in his post-match. I'm not making changes just to protect people or making changes just to make changes. It's our best route as a football club to try and get through. Now I've got a few busy weeks coming up. If we can win on Tuesday, that means we've got 4 Tuesdays in a row that we are busy playing. If not, we've got 3 out of the next 4 anyway, so we need a whole group. That's it. That's what it's going to be like, especially at the start, guys. Obviously, we've got, at some point the FA Cup. Obviously, if we progress in this, like I say, we've got this. got the Virtue Trophy, and we've also got Wigan the Tuesday coming up. So obviously after tomorrow, obviously got Bradford, then Wigan. So it's going to be it's going to be like that, like Bloomfield says. But yeah, he says them players will feature. But yeah, I mean, going into it, Coventry. I mean, before they beat us 3-2 last year, they didn't actually beat us in 10 games. Obviously, the game before that was obviously the playoff final, as we all know. Obviously, they did get in the playoffs last year, did have heartbreak right at the end against Sunderland. I did want them to win, to be fair. I'm not going to lie. Given that I said they'll win them at the start of the year anyway, partly. But still, the amount of times they got there, they've been obviously unfortunate when they've got far and stuff. Obviously, they did play, I'm not sure if it's a League Cup or the FA Cup, but it did play Tottenham not too long ago as well. Narrowly lost that. Obviously, had the controversy against Man United in the FA Cup. So it is definitely going to be a tough game. Last time went there, like I say, we lost. Did beat them the last time we played them overall, but they'll make some changes, but still going to be an interesting one. And the biggest, even though we are going to rotate, guess you say the biggest test so far, and I believe the biggest test in the league will be on Saturday coming up. But yeah, what do you make of this game, Dad?
Yeah, they've got some good players, you know what I mean, that they've kept hold of and signed a couple. We've got Rudini, that's Mason Clark. Is it? They signed him from Peterborough. They've got some good players. Defence, you have to be switched on, like you say. But depending on the lineup, we should go and give it a go. Like say, free hit. I'm not too bothered if we get knocked out. If we get a good in, then that won't be good for the squad. But if we give them a game, take it to penalties, you never know what you're going to get. So yeah, that's it really. I'm not really overly fast.
Yeah, no, like I've said the last couple of weeks, last couple of episodes, I'm not bothered about this game really. But what we'll do for a lineup is we'll do a joint one. Do get involved in the chat, because like I said earlier, if we do say the same player, a different player each, then we'll probably go to the chat and see what you guys say. But 3-5-2, I think we are going to play that again. I can't see us going to a back four. Even when people mention back four, I don't think we have the players to be doing that yet, personally, because if you say, oh yeah, we could put Longwick as a right back or something like that, just as an example, he's not really a right back. Same with Makoso when obviously he, is available and things like that. But yeah, goalkeeper, going to be Shea, I would think. I mean, last year we thought it'd be Krul against Forest, but it wasn't. But I think, it makes sense, give him a game. He's not really going to get other games, obviously, other than the other cup competitions, you'd think. But yeah, I think you got to put Shea in goal, and yeah, we're both nailed on to say that. So I won't go to you for that, Third. But yeah, when it comes to,
I wouldn't be surprised if it is Keeling.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't, based on our history of doing this, like especially in the recent, like obviously, like I say, going to that Forest game, for example. But I do think Bloomfield change it around. I do think he will change goalkeeper around. Now the back three. Me personally, I'm thinking of putting right centre back Longwick, because he is actually a centre back, and obviously the Makoso stuff. Would I have started Makoso anyway? Probably not. But still, I don't really know. Who else? You can put players there, but they're not really right-sided players. I don't feel when Makoso did sort of have his stake of a claim there. If you put who else is there? McGuinness is more a middle player. I'd say Hope is more of a left.
You could put Walters there.
You could put Walters there. I mean, what are you open to putting Longwick there?
Yeah, but I reckon he'll play on the left, and Naismith will be rested.
Yeah. Naismith. There's so many players in this game that have to be rested. For me, like him, Clark. There's obviously other players as well. I'd say Anderson right now at this game as well. The middle player, and I'm sure you're going to agree on this, Dad. I'm going to put McGuinness.
Yeah, definitely be McGuinness.
I think he's got to get some minutes now. obviously he has been coming on and playing for the under-21s, but yeah, I think this would be a good opportunity for him. So yeah, I'll go with McGuinness there. Now the left side. Now this is interesting. I'm gonna go with Tom Holmes.
I think he's got a knock, mate.
Oh, is he actually?
Well, I don't know for real, but that's what someone was saying. So,
Oh,
But if he ain't, then yeah, maybe. But was he on the bench in the last game?
I don't think he was, but he just hasn't been anyway. Other than that, other than the Tottenham game, that's the only game I can think of. Obviously,
I don't think it will be. I think it'll be Longwick on the left, McGuinness in the middle, and then maybe like Waters on the right.
I guess if he is out, me personally, I'd probably go Longwick left centre back, McGuinness in the middle. I'd have to go Anderson. Jackie's put Bramall. We'll get on to Bramall. I mean, Bramall is another shout. But then for me, if you put Bramall centre back, we ain't got any other left wing backs really other than Ali right now. See, and this is why we need to obviously get someone in. All right, I will say, because I'm not 100% sure on Holmes. Like if he might be, he might not be. I don't know. I'll just put him in. Just on the basis of, maybe he is. The right side, I am going to go. Do you know who I'm actually going to go with? I'm going to go Kadoa, the one from West Ham, in this game. Obviously, he has come on as a right wing back when he has come on. So that's why I think it. Ideally, I want to see him up front because he is actually a striker. But, yeah, I reckon, to take the sort of pressure, I guess, off Waters, he might do that. So I'll go Kadoa. Are you open to that, Dad?
Yeah.
I think it makes, sense. Again, like I said, I don't really want to put him there, but he has been playing there, so I'm basing it on that. The left side, I'm actually going to go Bramall. Now, he had minutes for the under-21s the other day, obviously, when we were playing. And obviously, that was the kickoff before. And, yeah, I think with him, it's one of them where, just get him some minutes. Get him some minutes, really. He can play as a, obviously, left wing back as well on top of that. So, yeah, I'll go with him there. Just see what he's like. Let's actually see what he's like. So, yeah, I'll go with Bramall. Are you open to putting him in the left wing back, Dad?
Yeah, if he's fit enough, yeah.
Yeah, exactly that. And then moving on to the midfield. Now, the midfield's interesting. Obviously, he said Lamine's going to play. So, I'm just going to put Lamine in anyway. And I'll put him in the middle of this sort of three that I'm going to do. Now, the left side of that, I'm going to go with Nelson. And I know you want to put Nelson in as well, Dad.
Yeah, I feel like he needs to start this game.
And also, by the way, obviously, if you don't remember, last year, he did obviously score in the game, there he is, against QPR, didn't he? That very, very, great goal. Jackie's put Jake Richards. That's another good shout.
Yeah. I'd think that he's got a lot of potential for starting as well. I know he's young, but he's been on the bench a lot, and I think it'd be nice to give him a lot of run out. Cause I think he's in pre-season he's looked decent, but yeah, he's another option. But do you go with it's still, we could put Baptiste back in there, we could put Walsh there.
See, that's what I was thinking, putting Walsh, because he didn't obviously start the last game.
Yeah,
and I do feel if you do put Richards in there, like as much as Lamine's player when you come back in there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. I had a bit of a lag there. But yeah, like I say, if you put Lamine and all that there, Lamine, Nelson, and Richards, that's quite. As much as Lamine plays like an experienced player, that's a little bit inexperienced for me. And again, I know we're taking this as a free hit, but I personally would be putting Walsh in there. Personally. Because like I say, he didn't play last game. Also, he can be that sort of leader in that midfield as well, out of them. So that's the only reason I'll put him in personally. So yeah, I'd have Nelson, Lamine, and Walsh as my midfield. And then the two up front, again, maybe controversial, but I'm gonna go Nordas on the right. I don't think that's controversial. Will we actually see him in? I'm not too sure. Given he's apparently still getting used to the English game, I guess. And then the other one, this is where it could be a little bit controversial, but I don't, if you think about it, I don't really think it is. And that is Yates. I'll put Yates in. And the reason I say that is because he's still getting minutes underway. I would probably take him off. However the game's going, I'll take him off with 30 minutes to go. And I just think for minutes, I would be doing that. And yeah, I've already, even though it's the cup and things like that, we don't really care. I've already said my thoughts on Woodrow starting games. So that's why I haven't said that with him. So yeah, I'd go Nordas and Yates. Would you like to see that front two in this game?
Probably start Yates, but and I would rest Naki Wells, but I don't know who else. You could put Nelson up front. You could put that Kadua up front. So it's gonna be interesting to see what he actually does. Obviously Nordas, but like you say, it seems like I don't know, like he's just sort of setting back a little bit for whatever reason. Do you know what I mean? I know people. It's quite interesting because a lot of people slag him off on that, but I actually thought he'd done pretty well generally in pre-season. Do you know what I mean? Some good link-up play and he ain't gonna get any better if you're not even giving him a chance, is it? Do you know what I mean? So we'll see.
Generally, other than that Boreham Wood game, I thought Nordas was very good in pre-season.
Yeah.
Especially that goal against Southend. That was a great finish. And I think his link-up play is good. But then I also, like I said on the last one, I look at it and I think to myself, well, if he's not even getting the minutes now, when is he going to get the minutes to actually be all right? Like, do you know what I mean? And get given a chance. Like, I don't know. It's like I'm not saying he should start, but he should at least be on the bench for me. I don't know. That's just how I see it personally. But yeah, Jackie's gone Yates and Nordas as well. Richard's put in Yates as well for this game. Yeah, I'll just think minutes. I'll just think minutes. That's the only reason I'll say it. Like I say, even if we're losing the game, I'm in a good position to win it. I'd probably still have him on. Still take him off. If half an hour left. That's just how I see it. But yeah, prediction, Dad, for against the Championship side. How are you feeling about this one? Coventry, we've got history with them. Are they going to be bantering us and knocking us out of the cup?
I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. I just think it'll be a bit, they've got good quality there. If they play, certain players, we rest a few. If they're at home, they'll feel that energy and yeah, I don't think it'll be. I do think we'll concede, but I do think we can. We're a bit of a bogey team for them, so yeah, I'll concede like one of them cup games where it's a draw and then it goes to penalties, and then I'd say they'll probably beat us on penalties.
Well, that'd be revenge, wouldn't it, for them after the playoff final, beating us on penalties this time round. As for me, I'll say they beat us in 90 minutes. I'll say it's a close game, though. I do think it'll be close. But I do think they will beat us 2-1. So, yeah, again, me and Chat GPT are thinking the same thing yet again, which I'm not copying. Trust me, I'm not. But, yeah, 2-1 to them, unfortunately, I do believe. But then again, I'm not too bothered if we get out of this. Like I say, priority is obviously the league. And then I'd argue on Saturday we've got the toughest game so far. Obviously, taking away this game, I'm on about in the league. So, yeah, that's how I see it with that. Rich says 2-1 to Cov. Jackie says another 2-0. I'm guessing that is to Coventry, Jackie. But yeah, when it comes to your goal scorers, Dad, who are you going with?
Walsh and Yates.
Okay. I'm going to go. See, I want Walsh to score. I just don't think it's going to happen yet. I'm going to go. Do you know what? I'm going to go Nelson again. Obviously, Bloomfield said he's going to feature. He did get that memorable goal last year. It's just a shame. We gave the armband around about 5 times in that game. It was just ridiculous. But Yeah, that was a great moment in that game. You know what? I'll back him to score, make a run, have a shot outside the box. You know what I mean, something like that this time. So hopefully, Lamine, yeah, that's another very good shout. You know, obviously he's set to play, and that would be typical actually. Think about it, because he was linked with Coventry, wasn't he? They were looking at him, and they probably still are, and they definitely will be tomorrow still. So yeah, that'll be interesting. Oh, fair enough, Jackie. 2-0 to us. That would
Yeah,
be if we went there and got a clean sheet. You know, maybe I'm thinking, negatively because of last year when we went there, day after my birthday. So it wasn't a great late birthday present. But yeah, we actually are playing on my birthday this year. Northampton away. I don't know last time we played on my birthday. I don't think we have from memory. So yeah, hopefully that's a different one there. But yeah, no, fair enough. I mean, if it's go there and get a clean sheet, I'll be happy. But yeah, like you said, that I do think I don't think we will, but if we did get sort of dismantled in this game, then that's not a good look. So that's where we want to be. And like you say, we do have close games with them. Over the years, obviously, the standout one obviously was a close game, went all the way to penalties. So yeah, we shall see how this goes. But yeah, a bit of other news I do want to talk about, which has come out today. So obviously we were linked with Terry Taylor. He's actually went back to Northampton again, but this time it's a loan. But apparently his contract's up at the end of the season at Charlton, so I think he'll be going there permanently. But yeah, I mean, I'm not too disheartened about that one, to be honest. I'd still ideally like to get CDM to essentially be a Nakamba replacement. And I think CDMs, because we play Lamine higher, we've only really got Saville, really. So I'd like to maybe get a backup in, but I'm not too disheartened about that. And then another thing, which I did see myself. So obviously I was talking about Kone, we should go in, should give it a go. It's come out that QPR have agreed a fee. QPR are doing some decent business this year. I'm not gonna lie. Obviously they've got Poku. They are set to get Kone, like you say. And the offer that they're getting him for, or the fee, is this. And I did see that as well. So that's pretty decent. Pretty decent for him. Obviously, he's going to be in the championship. Not too far of a move, really. If you think about it, Wickham to London, he might not even move. To be fair to him, but yeah, I mean they're doing some decent business. They're looking to, I'd say, at least be pushing on for the playoffs and things like that. But yeah, a little bit gutted still about that. I mean, a few people were saying to me when I put the post out on TikTok, he's not going to be a bench, sit on the bench. But for me, we'd play two up front if we got him in. Him and Yates, and then have Wells coming on in games for experience. He's 35. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to be using him as much. So, yeah, it's a bit of a shame, but we still know we need another attacker. Like I said in my match reaction, the club know that. Hence why we tried to get to V-Day, and then obviously apparently had two bids rejected for the one from Gillingham. So yeah, we still know we need to get someone else, and maybe that means an outgoing. Based on that, obviously Woodrow had the links to Oxford as well as Middlesbrough. Obviously the Middlesbrough ones were BS, but the Oxford ones might be true. Who knows? And then obviously the Norda situation is a bit of a weird one. So yeah, we're still we need to get a few out as well. We're at that sort of stage. Yeah, thank you for that, mate. Shout out to Ryan Taylor. He says the rules and regulations of the Carabao Cup state there will be no extra time if the score is level after 90 minutes. Yeah, that's good. I don't like extra time. Like, I think it's pointless, really. Um, Mengi Chong, the Canberra out. Yeah, I don't know with Mengi. It's an interesting one. Like, obviously, I want to get him out, but I mean, in terms of the injury, I don't know roughly when he'll be back. So that's the only reason I'm a bit, not sure now. But yeah, Nakamba's been playing the under 21s. For me, that's to get minutes to go. Like I've said with him, it's going to be difficult because he's a higher wage earner. His age as well is not really on his side when it comes to that sort of thing. So yeah, but Chong, I'm getting sick of Chong, man. And I don't know if someone was trolling on Twitter the other day. You might have seen it, Rich. Someone was trying to say it made a difference in that first half or something like that. I was thinking, no, not in this league. His physicality is awful, And how many times have we said that previously? When he had that good spell in the Premier League, then he ain't done nothing after that. Again, he's played as a wing back sometimes, but he's weak on the ball. and the further down you go in the English league, the more physical it is. So I know he wouldn't be able to handle it, with all due respect. So yeah, left back, right back, and striker back up in. Yeah, I'd have to agree. I mean, there was a few shouts for maybe like a Cam. But the more I think about it, I think we got good options in the midfield. But yeah, they're definitely the three, 100%. They're the main three, without shadow of a doubt. Do agree with that. Thank you again for this. 90 minutes play in rounds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No extra time shall be played, and winners shall be important. Yeah,
That's
fair
it.
enough. What's that?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. That was it. I swear he must have been trolling, surely. But yeah, any final things that you want to say about anything?
Nah, that's it, man. Just enjoy the weather. Be interesting to see what lineup we put out. But yeah, be watching it tomorrow.
Yeah, like I say, we get a rough idea of who the 3 players that are going to play. Like I say, Lamine, Nelson, and McGuinness. So that's good. They're all players I would have started anyway. But yeah, it'll be interesting. The likes of Yates, we'll give him some minutes again. Starting or not, we shall see. But yeah, as for the game tomorrow, we'll be live on TikTok again. Shout out to Rich. He was on from literally minute 1. And I know you were as well, Dad, the other day as well. So do appreciate that, guys. And we'll be live there. And then there'll be a match reaction after. Like there was obviously a match reaction on, when did we play? Saturday. So yeah, and then obviously we'll have a hat show. We'll probably be doing it on Thursday this week. Because obviously you're busy, Dad, on Friday. So we're going to do it on Thursday. And then again, there'll be a match reaction, and yeah, probably just a match reaction actually. Because the game's not on Sky, so yeah, which is a bit annoying. But yeah, big up to everyone. Like I say, smash a like and subscribe, all of that. If you haven't put your predictions in, do put them in the comments because I know a few people do that for this game that are involved, and also do join the Discord if you haven't already. Would be much appreciated. It was good conversations we had over the weekend, so hoping to get more people in for that. Yeah, like I say, smash a like, subscribe, follow me across all my socials, subscribe to the extra channel, and yeah, until tomorrow, I'll see you in a bit. Until Thursday, we'll see you in a bit. We'll do it all in one again. So yeah, until then, take care and peace. And this is a good comment to end it on. Gonna win on penalties. Come on the town, like we did a couple years ago.